So when we hear things like paying for the sins of our father,
Mm, 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 mm.
paying for the sins of our father. The question is, do our parents burden us with their mistakes? Think about that. Paying for the sins of our father. These are errors, mistakes. Do our parents burden us with their past mistakes?
Not mine. Yeah, I can give a damn.
So, Josh, you saying you ain't left no burdens? Pops ain't left you no burdens?
When he left me.
I'm just asking, man. You know, he left you no burdens,
No,
man.
I can tell. I mean,
But
you
a
got
burden could also be if you having to do something for your family because your pops didn't set your family up in a perfect situation for you. Where you, because in some families, all the kids have to worry about is themselves. You got to worry about your sister. You got to worry about your mama because she ain't in a situation. Some people may look at, you know, I was left a burden because of that, even though that person wasn't there.
well, since you brought like that, I mean, I guess y'all ain't never. Some of y'all know. I think all y'all know. I never seen my mother, so some people that could be a burden. Like I never seen my mother. Like what happened? Blah blah blah. But other than that, all my sisters, siblings grown. Like nah.
Cause it could be like, kind of like what Matt was alluding to. Like it could be a situation where it's like they don't have to be extreme as if they're passing, but just the responsibilities of, say, I mean, it could be something like went to jail. It could be something maybe if they were an addict or anything like that, and then they were like the ones running the household, and then maybe like they could have like stepped away, and then now all of a sudden you have to hold on the responsibility of taking care of younger siblings and things like that because they're not in a position to be able to manage. Or like how Matt said, like sometimes people aren't setting their families up to the right degree. So your pops, so might have a job, but it's not enough. So then their failure, or some people might not look at it as a failure, but their inability to be able to provide. Sometimes you might take it and be like, you know what, I gotta jump on. I gotta help the family out, or you didn't begin to take on the load of being the provider of the family now because they're in their absence or whatever may have you.
I understand all the points you said. There was beautiful points, but nah, I never went through that.
Nah, I got you. I got you. Matt, what you think, man?
Yeah, I definitely believe that parents can be a burden. I've seen it a lot of times, and it's not nothing malicious most of the time, because even in these situations where it's like the basic things, like they don't have to. I'm not saying leave you $1 million, leave your house, all that stuff is extreme, but knowing how to deal with credit. Like how many people I heard now that say they didn't even learn how to deal with credit until they made those mistakes themselves. Like a lot of parents didn't even set their kids up how to be financially responsible. You know how to deal with situations at your first job, hard bosses. Like just the simple things everybody's gonna go through in life. That can be seen as a burden. You know what I'm saying? Because you having to be put out there without even knowing that information. So I mean, I definitely see that, and even hitting on the things where it's like the stress that a lot of kids, especially in the inner city, we go through of not being in a great situation or even a reasonable situation where we don't have to worry about crime or even being in a good school or even worrying about brothers and sisters. They ain't doing well in school because they don't have the right guidance, and you got to step in and help them with that as a bigger brother or as a little brother or whatever. Some of that you taking on the responsibility because you weren't set up in a great situation. So I mean, I definitely see that a lot of times.
Okay. Mike, what you think, man? Paying for the sins of our fathers. Do our parents sometimes burden us with their past mistakes?
Uh, in general, yeah, you know, I think just from certain situations, like may not have been myself, but may have been people I've been around, like any of us, you know what I'm saying, been around. We see different shit that, you know, they go through, and you know, they had no choice but to take on, like, you know, that responsibility because of, you know, what that parent may not have done. And now they got to take care of, you know what I'm saying, if they got a sister or brother, they got to take care of them, or, you know what I'm saying, and also they got probably have to take care of the parents too, you know what I'm saying, and taking care of how to make sure they have a place to stay and eat, and then, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, they weren't asked to do that, they just had to naturally fulfill that role. And it could be a burden, because who said, like, really they had to kind of be like that? You know, they were put there, you know, without even taking it up. Like, they had no choice. So that could be a burden. They might end up having like extra stuff that they probably wouldn't have, maybe like high blood pressure, or maybe like these other people problems now that they have to fix on top of theirs, which is like building up on them, and, you know, like that.
So yeah, so when I approach this from this angle like this, so to piggyback off what Mike said, health. Sometimes your parents having bad approaches to their health can be a burden to you, because people love saying things like this is hereditary and this is hereditary, but only thing I see that's hereditary is the behaviors that you typically just do whatever it is that they were doing. Typically, if your mom and your pops eat horribly, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna eat horribly. But I mean, it's understandable, because when you coming up in their house, you can't do nothing but eat the way that they eat. You ain't really got a choice, especially if you come up from like the era we come up in. Yeah, you better eat that goddamn food that's on the table. You really ain't left too many options. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you won't have a choice. You got to definitely get into that. You know what I'm saying? From that point of view. I also look at it too from relationships. Sometimes when your father might not have been the perfect example to show you how to be a father, or how to be a man, or how to be that leader of a family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, and you know, we typically see most of us grow up in, you know, single mother households. So the absenteeism of our fathers kind of leaves us in a stuck place. You start getting kids. Sometimes you don't know what to do, because you ain't had a father to have to be there to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? You or your siblings will be able to make it through. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll be in a relationship. Probably, really, the majority of the reason we don't know how to deal with these women is because we ain't had to watch a man control our mamas, instruct our mamas, guide our mamas. We watching our mama do it all alone with her independent life, carrying things on, and she got to be the one to carry the load and all that. Like, she take on the burden. You know what I'm saying? Because she carried, we also learn from that side. Well, we're not seeing a father there, so we don't know how to manage. Even without having a father, even being able to deal with amongst men. Like, if we look at the way that women talk and women get around men, women talk a little reckless. Women got tongues like knives. You know what I'm saying? They cut when they get to talking. Especially if you get in an argument with them, boy, they have you bloody. You know what I'm saying? They get real dangerous when they get to talking. Sometimes when you come up around that, you develop this thing where you get reckless with your mouth, and not having, you know, your father around could then impact you to where you like, yo, you don't even know how to address a man yourself. You don't know how to look a man in his eye when you're talking. You don't know how to stand up and greet a man when he walk in the room. These are some of the things that we grow lacking, that these would be burdens that we can carry in the absenteeism of certain parents, because we weren't there to learn. Even when it comes to having your mother, sometimes our mother not being on her square and not handling things the way she need to be handling leaves us confused when we're looking for a woman. We mess around and find the same woman who had raised us, and knowing she ain't really the woman you should probably be talking to, because she ain't had her stuff together. She had her faults or whatever may have you. But these are things that we run into. You know what I'm saying? We cross these bridges. So when I hear that, I look at it from those type of angles of like the immediate household. Like, not having people there, or even if they there, them not recognizing and understanding their placement to be able to teach us to help us move forward. That's how I receive that when I hear, you know what I'm saying, paying for the sins of our fathers. You know what I'm saying? Missing the mistakes.
Good
So